So I think it's helpful to look back at sort of this cartoon of the molecular structure of a polymer network, right? Which is largely composed of these polymer strands that are all held together. And if you start thinking about ways of embedding chemical reactivity into a strand, you start to think about opportunities to really dramatically change the molecular behavior of that core component of a network. So for example, one of the concepts that we're pursuing in MONET is this idea of reactive strand extension. So the idea that you could have an overstretched strand that when it reaches its normal limits, it reacts to grow much longer and ultimately absorb much more energy before it stretches to its ultimate limit and breaks than is possible in the absence of that chemical reactivity. Now, those kinds of strands are all stitched together by what we think of as junctions, ranging from crosslinks to real multifunctional sites of attachment for strands. And now if you think about those junctions as, again, not being kind of permanent and chemically inert, but as having embedded reactivity that can allow them to appear or disappear, to reconfigure or exchange, perhaps on demand in response to some kind of external signal, start thinking about ways to really change the structural properties of the network in new and potentially transformative ways. Okay, so those are a couple of examples of the way that we think about this combination of structural activity and chemical reactivity. And as soon as you start doing that, and as we were thinking about MONET, even back in sort of the formative days of our phase 1 proposal, one of the things that we came up with was, okay, so we got these two thrusts that we can use to sort of define the scope of our work. But this activity that we're embedding really means we almost need a new language, and especially one that could help us take advantage of the growing use of kind of big data methods in chemistry. And that's to find a persistent sort of mini thrust in the center to inform the development of tools for polymer chemistry data. And we'll share more about all of these things going forward.